3 Cents Podcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's another 3 Cents Podcast presented by Integrity Roofing and Siding. We survived Thanksgiving. I'm Ernie Zuniga. Mike Taylor across the way. Cleto Rodriguez over there in the great LG pushing the buttons and making it all happen.
The birthday boy, Mike Taylor.
Yes, he's a year older since the last time we saw him.
We forgot last week, Mike.
Well, I didn't advertise it too much.
But we forgot. And I thought about it too because someone had said in my family, was like, oh, yeah, Mike Taylor's got a birthday. I saw, oh, man, that's when I went up did that post.
Doesn't matter when you say it. You said it, and I appreciate it.
Happy belated, man.
Thank you, boys.
Yeah,
who's oldest among us all?
I would
Is
probably
it me?
be me.
What are you? You're not 50 yet, are you?
52.
Oh.
Ernie, what are you?
I'm 47.
Yeah,
Although LG's the baby, technically in this room.
Still gets carded. He still gets carded.
LG, you're still on the boob, my friend.
50.
You are still.
One more year,
I'm 52. Get off my lawn, guys.
Are you feeling, having crossed 50 and approaching 50, and I mean, I am too, but do you have any thoughts or about that number, that milestone,
full
birthday,
body tattoo, and
midlife crisis?
buy a monster truck?
I wanted a motorcycle when that happened.
Honestly, I have always felt younger.
Yeah.
And I guess at some point maybe I'll freak out, but I'm fine with it. I like being my age.
You got good genes, bro.
Thank you, Holmes. Thank
Shoot,
you.
I'm not. Let me tell you something.
I think that I want to live. Well, I've always wanted to live to be like 100 years old.
Yeah. Not
that I'm greedy or I fear death. I mean, I don't look forward to death. I don't necessarily fear it.
Right.
I just want to. I love the world. I want to be around as long as I can to see all the new things and how the world evolves and such. I've always thought younger. I want to stay in decent shape. I can't control if I get a disease or anything, but what I can control health-wise, I try to anyway. Not always, sometimes poorly, but I don't feel old at all. I don't have a crisis, nothing.
How old does Nina think you are?
She knows. I've told her. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. She's a millennial. Yeah, of course.
Oh my God.
Get divorced to marry a young chick.
Speaking of midlife crisis.
Yeah. No, she's not young, but she's 7 years younger than me.
I got me a cougar.
And you do have a cougar.
Yeah,
I got a millennial. And no, I don't. I don't fear 50. I guess it may be. Ask me next year. It may feel weird, but I'm fine.
No,
I think young. What was it? The great Toby Keith had a song, "Don't Let the Old Man In." If you do don't do kid things, but don't do old man things. I can't go exercise. I'm 56. Or, don't do that. I'm too old. I don't want to take the stairs. I'm 55. No, take the stairs. Take the long way.
According to my smart scale, I have a body of a 57-year-old man.
That a baby? You're almost there.
57-year-old man. Okay.
And I'm 52.
Okay.
It's a dumb scale, if you ask me, not a smart
body
scale.
Mass index is bullcrap.
That's BMI.
I don't believe in that. Yeah, I don't believe in
No,
BMI.
I don't either.
It's a bunch of hogwash.
It's hogwash. Some of us have bigger bones than others.
That's exactly dense. They're very dense.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Absolutely.
Well, if nothing else, the Spurs might age us here. Just the way they've been playing lately, making us all feel older. And I know we've had a few things have happened with the Spurs since we last talked. Most notably, their head coach taking to the microphone. The PA announced microphone
that crazy?
At the Frostbank Center to call out the fans.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been ridiculous had they been 13-3, but you're 3-13.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
I thought that was. I guess I'll take this.
You can take it first.
First of all, let me say this.
By all means, Mike, go for it.
This has nothing to do with the team's performance at all. This was an isolated event you know what? Maybe the team's performance had a little bit to do with what he did the other night. Maybe he's frustrated and he projected. That the right term?
Right.
I've been told that I project my anger on others. Maybe he did that. I don't know.
It's mind games. He's playing psychological mind games.
Yeah, I mean. I've heard it said, this is people giving him the benefit of the doubt. He did that he did that to take away from how bad they've been doing. So you'll focus on him. Bull. He got mad. He was legit mad.
He was mad.
I thought Pop deciding to literally take over that public address microphone in the middle of a game.
Right.
Kawhi had to stop
at the free throw line
and let him do it. Which, by the way, why didn't he get his ass teed up? Pop should have been teed up. or thrown out of the game. I don't think any other coach in the league gets away with that. He walks over.
I mean, does the NBA even have a rule about that? Like, you can use
it caught him off guard.
Probably did
delay of game or something. I mean, you're like,
why haven't they fined him yet? It's been a week.
That's interesting. I never thought about that.
You cannot be stopping a game down because you're pissed at booing, and that's the one thing. It wasn't like no one was throwing anything. There wasn't any fights.
I've seen that before when people throw stuff on the court.
Well, yeah, then you got to stop.
Then you stop, but then the coach will come on and say, "Stop throwing stuff." That's one thing.
He just takes it upon himself to stop. I love that as soon as he puts the mic down and went like this, he waves his arm like, stop it. They all just booed more. It was great. It was great. Dude, who do you think you are? You are Greg Popovich. There should be a statue of you probably outside of the new arena. But
there will be.
I mean, come on now. That was an arrogant moment by a man who got caught up in the moment.
Yeah.
He hasn't walked it back either.
That's the thing I'm most disappointed with.
He has not walked it back either. And I
he's
think
tripled down.
I think my years on I've always been about the optics, about just the way things look to the casual fan watching on TV. The same thing that something that's bothered me lately is, because I've been watching the Spurs more than I have in many, many years just because of the ability to watch them now, is in the middle of this losing streak, at the end of a game, when you're watching football, and a football game ends, what's the first thing, when the clock hits 0, what's the first thing on TV you see? You see the handshake at midfield between the two coaches.
Right.
And the losing coach almost always is very upset, mad. It's a very quick, all right, fine, thank you. Good luck, rest of the season, and get out of here.
Yeah.
What I've noticed with Popovich is the minute the clock hits 0 in the fourth quarter and the game's over, and they've just blown a large lead or whatever, the game's over, he's walking over. It was the Denver coach the other day. It was Ty Lue, I think, when the Clippers were in town. And they're hugging and laughing and and joking and everything. I don't care what they're talking about. But the optics to me, as I'm watching this on the TV, to me, it's unsettling.
Yeah, because you're upset.
It looks like he's not. It doesn't look like
Pops should have been glad he wasn't at my house when Kawhi was shooting free throws. Because I was booing louder than anybody. My neighbor had to tell me to be quiet.
And what's upset me the most, more than him taking over the mic and saying what he said, is you're right. The next day he had a chance to walk it back. Nope, you don't poke the bear.
Poke
the bear.
Yeah, he said
what
that.
Bear is this? Yogi
Bear? What
Bear?
are you talking about? Kawhi Leonard is not affected by boos or cheers or anything.
Exactly.
Nothing phases that guy. He's a strange cat, but nothing phases him. He's the guy that has that. There's a poster of him somewhere. He's dunking, flying through the air with his arm up in the air, about to tomahawk jam the ball, and his face looks like this.
With his massive hand.
It's like, dude, are you about to? He's literally about to fall asleep while he's 11 feet in the air about to jam. He's a different cat. He's cut different.
Of course he is.
He's not affected by boos or cheers.
He even said he even complimented the San Antonio fans and said that they were, when he's out getting something to eat.
Yeah,
they're good people and everything.
That was a lame excuse. That was an excuse. That was something that you would expect an 18-year-old teenager to say when you get caught with marijuana. Well, I mean, it was John's. I was holding it for him, and no, we don't poke the bear. No, dude, you made a jackass of yourself, and you should apologize to your fan base, who has spent millions and millions and gazillions of dollars over the years. By the way, I love Greg Popovich. I've got tickets to Thursday night's game. I can't wait to go. I've not seen Wemby. I haven't seen Wemby in person. Yes. I guess I'm not allowed to boo DeJounte Murray, who's going to be in town with the Hawks on Thursday.
Or another former Spur.
Dude, that's insane. And the other thing that didn't sit well with me either, the line where he said, "That's not who we are." I don't know who you are,
right?
But I am not who you are. I don't crawl into a $250,000 electric car and hovercraft to the mountaintop to my mansion.
Right.
That is not who I am.
No.
As long as there has been sports, there have been people who booed the opposition.
Absolutely.
The baseline bums used to be as bad as anybody in Philadelphia.
Sure.
Are
they still around?
Yes, they're still around.
They just moved them up, and they're all viejitos.
They're up higher.
In the 70s, though, when they were young, Larry Brown got hit in the back of the head with an avocado one night. The league threatened to ban them from all games.
Right.
Larry Bird got into a scuffle with two of the baseline bums once outside of the old Hemisphere Arena, and was slinging his duffel bag at the fans because he was scared of them. Can you imagine 6'11" Larry Bird He's like swapping. Imagine that if it happened today, an athlete hitting fans with a duffel bag today.
On social media and
oh,
everything.
my God. This Bird had to literally beat them off of him. I'm not saying we should do that.
No.
But to boo a guy, and by the way, it's one guy.
Right.
We boo the opposition every night. Pop never said a word. It's about Kawhi. It got personal. Pop likes Kawhi Leonard. It got personal. He got pissed and went over there and made a jackass of himself and shouldn't have done that. Pop should have already apologized and said, hey, man, I got a little ahead of myself.
Right.
I love Kawhi Leonard. I love the kid. It sucks that he gets booed after all these years. He helped us win the title. He was the MVP of the finals. I got a little caught up in the moment. I'm sorry. No, he's tripled down. He's been asked about it twice since then. He went to Golden State and was like, oh, that's not what we do. What are you talking about?
So what will happen the next time the Clippers come to town or Kawhi steps foot in the frost?
Ass.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
And it's going to double. It's going to be worse. It's going to be louder because the fan. It's not that we turned on Pop. Pop should go away. Although there's some that think he should stop coaching. That's a different topic because he's 74 years old.
Correct.
But you just don't go telling fans who've spent God knows how much money to get into these games, don't boo a guy.
Yeah.
And again, they're just booing him. And it doesn't affect him. It didn't hurt his
part of the
feelings. It didn't hurt his feelings. He's a professional athlete.
Yeah.
He's won 2 NBA titles. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's not fazed by some fools up on the 200 level booing him. That's stupid. Don't poke the bear. What you talking about? That was lame.
I got a Kawhi story. I had been asked by, I believe, someone from the Spurs a while back, like years ago, to do MC Kawhi Leonard's basketball camp. And I'm there, and Kawhi's there. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, everybody, and all these little kids, right? All that just packed in this gym at Rosedale, Park or whatever, in that West Side gym. And they're all there, and I'm like, hey, guys, and I'm, Kawhi, what do you got planned for these kids? Some stuff. Okay, well, what are you going to do? Some one-on-ones or some dribbles, some shots? Yes. I'm like, hey, Kawhi, hey, I go, what do you, so you're going to have, like, these kids are going to have fun, right? And all that kind of stuff? Yes. I go, this is your camp, right, Kawhi? And then the Spurs people got mad at me for asking that. Wow. I go, well, man, tell them throw me a bone, man. I'm like, I can't even get anything out of this guy.
I said this the other day, and this is controversial.
Worst interview ever.
I want to preface by saying that I don't have any proof whatsoever. It's just me reading body language.
Okay.
And this goes back to when he was with us. I used to say that he's probably in the perfect town.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's such an introverted guy.
Correct.
This is a great city to be an introvert superstar. Tim Duncan was an introvert, and it was a perfect town for him to be in.
Absolutely.
I honestly look at Kawhi Leonard, and just because we covered him every single day for 5 years until he did what he did, which was horrible, by the way, I look at Kawhi, and I see an immature young man, even though he's not a young man. I see a guy who, honestly, maybe he has social anxiety disorder. He's way more introverted than Tim ever was, and Tim is on a normal level.
Right.
I almost think Kawhi is kind of like maybe on the spectrum. I in college I was around some kids that had Asperger's syndrome. As part of a thing I did for college to get some credit. Blah blah blah. I'm not saying he has Asperger's syndrome.
Right.
I'm saying that he strikes me as someone who has some social issues. Right. But But when he gets booed, it doesn't affect him, right? So I think maybe Pop knows this, and Pop felt like he needed to defend Kawhi. The crazy part is, it's 5 years he's been coming here, and he gets booed. They booed his mother one time, which was way out of line.
That's way out of line.
If Pop were going to bitch about something, it should have been the night that they booed his mom. That was wrong. That was super wrong. I can see that. Yeah. Even the other night, had Pop maybe in the post game at the media podium, hey guys, at some point we got to lay off this guy.
Right.
That would have been, I wouldn't have agreed, but that would have been more appropriate to arrogantly take that mic over in the middle of a game.
Right.
That was an out of touch moment by a man that's close to the situation. We're not. We're just fans.
Yeah, that is true.
Who strikes me as a guy who is a bit arrogant. And Greg Popovich is a guy, say what you will. Again, we should have a statue of the guy. I love him. He's a guy that loves to tell you and me and you and you and you how to live. Look, a lot of his political rants he goes on, I agree with a lot of the things he goes on and rants about. A lot. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And one of the things that I think Pop criticizes other celebrities, politicians, leaders, because they don't hold themselves accountable. Greg Popovich had a chance this week to preach to practice what he preaches when it comes to personal accountability, and he didn't do it because he doesn't think he's wrong. But here's the thing. If I get 2 or 3 angry emails, I can't believe you said that. That was awful. I'm offended. I don't care. But if 20 or 30 people email me, hey, man, that was wrong, I'm like, maybe I should listen. Yeah. Maybe I was wrong. 99% of this city thinks what Greg Popovich did was incorrect and wrong.
99% of Greg Popovich doesn't think he's wrong.
And he's wrong. That's
Twitter
correct.
too. I mean, social media erupted, and I think universally,
almost
universally, people didn't like it.
Sure, that was inappropriate. Maybe he doesn't want to take back what he said about the booing, but to take the game over like that was arrogant. He at least owes an apology for that. Yeah. But no, in his eyes, he didn't do anything wrong. I have grown tired of his sermons on the Mount. I really have. You're just, at the end of the day, he's a really smart guy. I don't know him personally, obviously. You're the greatest basketball coach of all time. You are a legend. But you take advantage of your outlet to preach and tell others how to think, how to vote, how to be. It's not the first time he's criticized San Antonians, by the way. But he criticized. I mean, he's ripped Alamo Heights because they still acknowledge Columbus Day. Oh yeah. He's jumped on people in Stone Oak for other stuff. He likes to get on rich white people. Let's be honest. And he loves to tell Republicans what to do. That's fine. That's his right to do that. But then when you make a jackass of yourself and rip a bunch of fans, many of whom are probably blue-collar liberals who voted for the Democrats, and you blast on them for having fun when they spent $500 to get in the game, you're wrong.
To watch you lose.
You're wrong. 50 people think you're wrong. 55,000 people think you're wrong. You were wrong. Yeah. You at least struck a nerve that you shouldn't have struck. So maybe he won't. Maybe he doesn't owe us an apology for defending Kawhi from the booing. He owes an apology for stopping a game down. You are not Mayor Nuremberg.
Would you say it's time to stop booing Kawhi?
No.
Well, it's never going to stop. Even if you had said yes, it's not going to stop.
It's not. Kawhi Leonard, stop. I mean, we don't have time. I'm not going to go through every detail of that horrible time. No. This is a guy who fudged his injury because he wanted to go. And this is another reason why I think maybe he's on the spectrum. He just wanted to go to L.A. He didn't care about winning championships. He just wanted to go home.
Go home.
And I understand that. And I get that. L.A. is where I want to be. I don't want to be anywhere else. I want to live in L.A. I understand that. The second they won the championship in Toronto, he was out the door. He had to be coaxed into going to the parade. He's a weird guy. He wants to be home in that cocoon that is Southern California where he was raised. I understand that. Yeah. The way he handled that was the most crap-tastic, sorry-ass, Bush League crap of all time, fudging the knee injury, throwing one of the great medical departments in all of professional sports in the world under the bus. The Spurs had a libel lawsuit against him had they chosen to do so. The way he lied about the treatment, that's crap. Mm-hmm. Pop tried to play the good guy and Pop tried to play the bad guy. He wanted to make it. What do we do? Let's fix this. Flies all the way to New York just to have a meeting with Kawhi Leonard. Gets to the hotel, and Kawhi's people literally hid him from Greg Popovich. Do y'all remember this?
I remember hearing stories about that.
Pop went to talk to Kawhi Leonard to have a break the bread. What can we do? How did I screw this up? How do we make this right? We love you. Mm-hmm. Please come home. And Kawhi Leonard did not have the guts to even hear him out. He literally hid in a back room of the hotel from Pop. So you bet your ass we should continue to boo him. Yeah. He is the arch enemy. I don't care that he won the NBA Finals. He ruined all that. He's more of a villain than Derek Fisher or Hakeem Olajuwon or Shaq or Kobe or any of these guys or Dirk. Right. He is a bad guy. Maybe not at heart, but because he allowed all his handlers to do this. Yes. But he's still a grown-ass man who acts like a 10-year-old. But anyway,
he's right up there for me.
I'm getting into more than I was going to get into.
That's all right. He's right up there for me.
He absolutely deserves the booze. Yeah. And Pop was absolutely wrong for jumping on his own fans. And it doesn't help that, oh, by the way, it looks like you're Victor Wembanyama and a bag of Dookie. That's pretty much what their team is. The timing certainly didn't help. No. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's right up there with Deshaun Watson with me. Yeah, those two right there. I have to ask for forgiveness.
Oh, I always forget you're a Texans.
He's a Texans fan.
Yeah,
Well,
those two right there. Oh man, Lord help me on those two, for real, literally, because those right there, just I'll do them both right in their face. Like,
well, the
man.
Texans have moved on, and they seem to be trending in a more positive direction. And
thank God.
so
Yeah, they've got their Wimby.
We got our Wimby.
They've got their Wimby. They've got their Wimby. We've got some people on Facebook watching, and I know this is a lot. A lot of people are passionate about this as well. If you would like to chime in right now, we're happy to read your comments.
We're not tanking anymore, right?
That's what Pop said. It's about wins this year.
Okay, because I thought we're still tanking.
They are hard to watch, guys.
I posted that on
it's
Facebook.
awful.
No, it's been
Like, I've got tickets Thursday
Difficult,
night.
yeah.
I'm excited, but if I get bored at the half, the Cowboys play the Seahawks that night
I
too.
know, yeah.
They do play
We're gonna go up
Thursday
in the
night.
bar at the arena. I'm gonna watch the Cowboy game. I ain't got time.
You
for this
won't be
crap.
by yourself
Yeah,
probably either.
This thing is bad. They are
Yeah, it
horrible.
is.
They're worse than last year defensively.
Yes.
It is terrible. Wembanyama gets a bunch of blocks, and that's all they do on defense. They are
The
awful.
outside shooting's killing me.
They have no point guards. Trey Jones he's an okay point guard. He's a legit point guard, but he's just all right. And this poor kid, Jeremy Sohan, he's so out of position. They're doing him a disservice. They're going to ruin this kid's confidence. It's terrible. They are awful. They have,
So how much of that comes
they're
down to the
terrible.
coaching then? I mean, getting
A lot.
not to pile on Popovich, but I
think
mean,
I think it should be. Yeah, I think it's part of it.
look, in New England right now, they're having conversations about Bill Belichick, and
Yeah, they are.
and Bill Belichick won 50 Super Bowls, I think. But and I'm not saying Popovich needs to be, moved out of coaching, but I'm saying, is it time to have that conversation, or is that not off limits to consider life after
I would
Popovich?
consider some fresh.
And how much he
some
is
new
to blame
blood.
for what's happening right now.
I think some for sure. I mean, to quote the fictional Batman character Harvey Dent, and this is a loose, but what is the quote about staying around long enough to eventually see yourself become the enemy?
Ooh.
He has been here so long, and he's so old and not like he used to be, that I think these kids probably could use a fresh voice, And I honestly, I don't think Pop would still be the coach had Kawhi Leonard stayed here all these years. I think part of the reason why Pop stayed is because Kawhi did do what he did, and it left the cover dry. Pop lost his wife, as we all know,
Of course.
and so I think coaching and then trying to get this thing back good again without Kawhi and not having anybody at home, I think it's probably added years to Pop's life, because these are his babies, his kids.
This is his
are grown.
life.
Yeah, this is his life. This is what he's like. Willie Nelson when it comes to singing. Pop coaches ball. But at some point, there's got to be some accountability by he does have superiors. He does have bosses. Brian Wright is technically his boss.
GM.
R.C. Buford is technically his boss. The Holt family are technically everybody's boss. And I thought that was a jackass thing he did. I'm not calling him a jackass. That
Right.
was a jackass thing that he did the other night. And then the double and triple down. And I don't know that he's gotten too long in the tooth.
Yeah.
But, I'll say this. Do you guys remember, like, back in the day, and I don't mean 20 years ago, I mean like 5 years ago, when they were playing horrible, how many times did you see Pop march onto the court while play was going on? Charmer!
Yeah.
And he'd do this.
Yes.
This right here meant all you bastards are on the bench.
Yeah.
This right here. And that means all 5 of you are coming out. He would bench Tim, Tony, Manu, everybody.
Right.
And he'd get the end of the bench and run them out there to make a point. When is the last time you've seen it? Oh my gosh, I'll never forget the first time I had courtside seats. I heard him literally call Roger Mason Jr. an asshole. You're an asshole. Golly. He told Danny Green to shut the F up one night. I heard that. And another night, shut the... He was jumping on Danny Green. Danny's like, no. He's like, shut the F up. Go sit down. When is the last time... Now, granted, I didn't watch much ball last year.
Right.
It
No, I
was
didn't
so
either.
bad. But I've been by the channel 80% of the time this year.
Right.
He stands there with his arms folded. He sits there and does nothing. I know that Wemby's a baby, and these are different people than what he used to have.
Right.
And you have to adjust to who you have in the room. But I mean,
We
I want to see some head cracking. What are you going to do? Lose by 20? They're doing that already.
We need some vets. on
Change
our
it
team.
up. Make some
too
trades.
young. It's too young.
Go get some kids from Austin. Bring City Sissoko in here. Start Jetty Osman. At least Jetty bust his ass all night long when he's out there.
Yeah.
I'm just
Some kids that want to play.
right now. I love Devin Vassell, but he
Yes.
stays hurt.
Yeah.
Assuming he's not hurt, it's Wembanyama, it's Devin Vassell, and then everybody else I could
is that?
not care less about on this team.
What is that?
Kelvin? Chetty
Osman?
Osman.
Yeah,
That's-
Jetty Osman.
That guy
That
right
kid
there.
bust his
Man,
ass.
he reminds me of Ginobili a little bit. Not
Why?
the shooting.
I would
but
start
that-
him.
Yeah, I would too.
Seriously,
That kid's got some heart, and he's ready
at
to
least
play.
he's out there. Yes,
He's hustling.
right. What are you going to do? Lose? You're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
that anyway. Pop's just not holding his team accountable, and now he's not being accountable for
Right.
his silly action. They're a hard watch right now, and I love them. They're hard to root for right now. I'm going to because it's in my blood,
Of course.
And Thursday, I'm going to cheer for them. And if we're down 20, then I'm going to be up watching Dak Prescott and Seahawks.
You have a plan B.
Dakota
Yeah,
Prescott.
I mean, gosh, man.
Are they mad too? The fans on that?
I'm still waiting. That we don't have any comments yet.
okay.
but,
I'm sorry. I'm passionate
you're
about
good.
this
No.
comment.
No, I'm looking.
I'm agreeing with you
I was-
100%.
I was sitting at the Ringer when this came on the other night, and we all stopped down in the middle of our beers and like, wait, what the hell was that?
Yeah. No, we all.
Everybody
I
at
was
the
like,
bar was like, whoa, dude, what is... Maybe something's wrong. Maybe he's sick. Maybe something else is
I had the
trying
same
to give him
look.
the benefit of the doubt. I think he was just being a jerk.
Yeah.
I had
That's
the
all
same
it was.
look when Dolly Parton came out.
Oh, at the halftime show.
I was like, what the?
Yeah, in the outfit.
In the outfit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to mention we have our Red Kettle here, our 3 Cents podcast Red Kettle for the Salvation Army, which I was going to transition into.
Oh, there you go.
She-
So-
well, she performed.
I got nothing else.
No.
It's all negative with Pop. I'm just mad.
No.
I'll get over it, but
We'll
that was
continue
wrong.
the conversation
But
soon.
it's like, yeah, I totally agree with what Mike was saying. I mean, it's just like, are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of the game. It is what it is. I mean, I think he's coddling Wemby just a little too much. You got to let him play, man. Let him go out there and see what he's got. You know, at least I still feel like I haven't figured. The chemistry is one thing. You know, that's one thing. But if you don't have, you can't let him go do what he needs to do. But
I think he's
just,
coddling the whole team.
yeah, true too. Yeah.
But somebody made the point too that was it Tim Duncan had David Robinson, you know.
True.
And
I feel bad for Wemby on
so
that end.
and to that point, like
Yeah.
the veteran leadership. If you think about when
And
Tim
he's younger,
Duncan came
too.
on the scene as a rookie, I mean, you had Sean Elliott and Avery Johnson, and
Johnson,
David
right.
Robinson, and
Mario Ellie.
you had
They were ready to win the title.
and they did second year.
Yeah.
So
and Wemby's also 4 years younger than Tim was
Yeah.
when he got here. And that's all basketball talk. That's fine. But they should not be 3 in whatever they are. I didn't think they'd win 50,
right.
but I thought they'd win about 35. They're not on pace to win 20.
You know,
This is
Not
way
right now.
worse than any of us could have ever imagined.
Yeah, I did not expect this
and
at
to
all.
add
We got
salt to the whole
Wemby.
thing, you see they misspelled Wembanyama's name
On the jersey.
What do we? Oh my gosh, it's been a tough 2 weeks for SSE. Tough, but I'll be there Thursday, cheering my butt off for his team and booing when necessary.
You will
because
boo when
that's what you
necessary.
do.
Hey, Pop.
And I'm not a big booer. I'm not. Although we found some old YouTube evidence of me booing the hell out of a hockey team this week that we played.
Oh.
But I'm not a big booer. I don't get animated at sports because I'm pretty chill during a game. Got my beer, got my lady, got my kids, and I focus on the games.
Right.
I'll get excited, but I'm not one of these over the top fan guys that boos all day and F you and goes. I don't.
Yeah.
And also I don't go crazy for big shots. I watch the game and have a good time. But on occasion, guys need to be booed, and Kawhi Leonard's one of them for sure.
And we are getting some comments
And
here.
this team's not good. They're worse than I thought they were going to be. And it's easy to throw the coach under the bus, but I mean, whatever he's doing is not working.
Yeah.
They have regressed from last year, and I don't know why. I just know that they're terrible on defense, worse than last year. And the excuse last year was, well, Pop's probably not totally coaching them on D because we're trying to get Wemby, and it'd be beneficial to lose.
Right.
This year, we were told it's about getting wins, and
That's
they
why
haven't won in
I
3
posted
weeks.
that on social media. I said, "Are we still tanking?" Just asking for a friend.
It looks like it,
Yeah, I mean, it's like
but
good
the
night.
answer is no, they're not. This is just how terrible they are right now. And I don't know that it can get much better.
yeah.
I mean, what else short of changing the personnel, the current group, the current rotation, the current starters? It ain't it. They ain't going to win 20 games at this pace.
So we do have comments coming in. Of course, I was looking at the wrong thing a little while ago. But Joe Laguna says, talking about Pop, needs to concentrate on the game and winning and what's wrong with the franchise. And maybe get Becky Hammond. They're suggesting maybe Becky Hammond. It's time
I'll take Becky right now.
To have Martha Flores says, Coach Pop needs to concentrate on coaching the team and not the fans. Mm-hmm. Bertha Pena says, Pop needs to retire, getting great players, but the coach doesn't change anything. Rude ways don't make him a great coach. I'm still looking for a positive comment on here, and I don't see it.
Well, again, and Pop should take that to heart. It's 99% against what he did.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't, haven't you guys ever? You guys have been in a position we're all a bunch of. Couple of us are pushing 50. One of us is north. But we've all been in scenarios where we didn't think we were wrong, but a lot of others did. And it's like, you know what?
That was yesterday.
Maybe I should reflect here and apologize and try and don't do it insincerely.
Oh, now we're talking marriage, Mike.
No.
But now we're talking marriage.
But Pop's being a stubborn jackass.
Yeah.
You hurt some folks' feelings and you alienated something that was sacred. The bond with you and the people that go to that ballpark, that arena. And you should apologize just for that, but he has not.
No,
he hasn't. I'm sure he has no plans to do so.
No, I'm with you.
Fine.
There were times
when
I was on the air over the years, and you say something and you think it's great, or you land a joke or something, and then you start to look at the social media, or your wife tells you, "Yeah, that wasn't so funny," whatever. And then to your point, then you start to realize, "Oh yeah." And no, listen, I own a mistake. If I make a mistake, or I cross a line, or I say something incorrect, I'm the first person to own it and apologize and try to make amends. But
I'm the same way, except when it comes to my wife. I give her that upper hand that she was right.
Right?
It's a long night.
Oh,
if she knows you're being disingenuous.
The couch is this way.
Yes. Like she's like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm like, yes, babe.
Well,
you
know,
she on the couch tonight.
No, look. I'm not trying to get all up in your marriage
No.
and comparing it to the Spurs.
Yeah.
Pop should not placate the fans, but if he truly thinks that way. But dude, you did offend everybody.
Everybody that was booing, especially.
So maybe at least think about the tactics, the way you went about expressing your opinion about the booing. Yeah, because again, he's been the coach here since 1997.
So what do you think he's
they've
thinking?
Been booing dudes every night since he's been here. All of a sudden, now you're mad.
In his head, when he's doing it, he's thinking, "This is my house. I can do it." That's probably what he's thinking.
It's not. That's not his house.
Because nobody gave him a T. So he's probably thinking he could get away with it.
I also think that in the last handful of years, I think that Pop is so revered now around the league. He's kind of like, what was the old wizard from Harry Potter that ran Hogwarts?
Dumbledore? No, Dumbledore.
Yeah, Dumbledore.
Okay,
he's Dumbledore of the NBA. Go. He's the Mr. Miyagi of the. The reason why he hugs and kisses all those coaches is because they all worship him.
Literally, yes, they do.
How many former Spurs
or coach under him
are now coaches or executives? Every night. Everybody they play has either a coach, an assistant coach, someone in the front office, a scout that started their career off here. We really are. We're the Patriots of this league.
Exactly.
The Spurs are franchise number one. We may not be market number one,
right?
But we are when it comes to the building of basketball and putting good executives and players and coaches into the league. Look how many former Spurs players are out there having success.
Yeah.
This is the Harvard of basketball coaching and executive.
Yeah,
you work here as an executive or a coach, you're at Harvard. You're learning and you're getting a Harvard education in basketball. So when you go to the Jazz or the Warriors, Steve Kerr, who's won how many championships, worships Greg Popovich. And I think Pop enjoys his role as elder statesman of the league. And that is
but he's also in a city where the Spurs, it's a one-horse town.
Correct.
Unlike New England and Boston and everything.
Right. The other night, I just think we saw a guy that got way too high on the horse. He is high on the horse, but he overreacted because he is a powerful, powerful guy. And he totally overreacted. There were people that used to work at my old radio station that were terminated because Greg Popovich told somebody to do so.
Yeah.
He's got power.
Because he
can.
No
question. Right, but you cannot abuse that power.
Wow.
And that went against all that stuff he rants about when it comes to Trump and Cruz and all these other people in this world.
We'll see.
Anyhow, I didn't mean to take over the show on this. I'm hurt. I love that man. You know, he yelled at me. Well, I didn't like it.
Thursday night, you can yell back at him. You can yell back at him on Thursday.
He yelled at me.
The Cowboys game.
Give me a pow-pow.
It was just so weird. It's like, why hast thou forsaken me? You know, golly, man, you left me hanging, Holmes.
Oh man,
it's like we're boys in
Old Testament right
No,
there.
I'm sorry, that was
Macbeth.
that was very unfortunate. Et tu, Pape. Okay. That sucked.
Was that Caesar? You just did
I
Shakespeare now too?
I think I mixed three. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was like
Old Testament. Moses,
Caesar, and I don't know
Shakespeare.
Yeah, and Shakespeare.
Look, I love that franchise. I'm so excited for Wembanyama. I can't wait to get to the game Thursday.
I just got my jersey.
I'm going to the Atlanta game Thursday. I'm going to the Milwaukee game in January to see Giannis and
That's what I'm talking about.
And Dame Lillard. That's going to be awesome. Got courtside seats. I'm super stoked.
Dude, Mike, I didn't even know you were rolling like that.
A buddy. I got a lot of buddies.
Yeah,
I need a buddy.
I need a buddy too. I'm up there with
it's just
with my uncle who's selling the coal, Bear. I mean, that's,
Here, take your binoculars. I'll wave to you.
My son said, "Yeah, we were in the 200 section." He's like, "I need to go to the bathroom." I'm like, "Just hold it."
Yeah,
That's right.
And Pop has been mean to me, but personally too. Like back when I would cover games, he's gotten on to me and been very, very ugly to me and snarky. Which that's a badge of honor.
It is a badge of honor.
Bitched at by Pop and be treated like your subspecies.
If I found out he knew my name, I'd be excited. I really would. I would be like, oh wow, okay.
Well, one night,
take back everything.
So you guys know Jim Bob, my
Yeah.
original producer.
Sure.
Jim Bob was a lowly board op, and he was with me at the Spurs game one night, and we had credentials, and there was almost a fight. It was KG, Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo, those good Celtics teams. Celtics were in town. And they almost got some chingazos. They got real chippy on the court. And the guys were pushing and shoving, blah, blah, blah. You know how KG liked to talk smack. And so we get down to the locker room, and Jim Bob asked Pop, what did you think about the chippiness there toward the end of the game? Pop looks right at Jim Bob's face and goes, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Come on, dude. He had double technicals.
Were you not watching the same game?
Almost had a fight. Pop, he didn't want to talk about him.
Wow.
But the way he just answers it with that smugness, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. And so poor Jim Bob's just like, he just wilts, you know. And so me being me, I'm like, I follow that with, well, do you wish it had been more chippy then? Oh! I F with Pop. Because he was mean to my boy.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just go, well, do you wish it had been more chippy then? Pop goes, he looks me dead in the face, stares through my eyes, through my brains, through my arteries, and through my veins or whatever. And he's like, if anybody has, looking dead in my eyeballs, if anybody in this room has any questions that make sense, I'd be happy to answer them. And then darts his eyes away. And that was it. So
Makes sense.
2 nights later, another game. I go on. I'm back.
Mike's over there.
I'm there covering the game. And I ask a random question that had nothing to do with that. It was about I don't know. It was about George Hill question.
Right.
What'd you think about George's game? And he looks me dead in the eye and goes, if anybody in this room has any questions that make sense, I'd be happy to answer them. He wasn't after 2 nights prior, he wasn't having me.
Keeping receipts.
Yeah,
sure.
Really.
No question.
Keeping receipts.
Again, badge of honor. We played it on the radio 50 times over the next 6 weeks. It was awesome. Somehow that audio got lost. Unfortunately, I think Bear destroyed it when he got fired. Anyway,
oh my god!
I just that's fine. Pop is he's a rascal. He's a Serbic, to use one of his words. He can be mean. He can be loathsome. But he's our guy. He's our buddy. You know, he's our mean
grumpy
old man.
uncle.
He's our grumpy uncle.
He's our old Theo.
He's our goat. He's our Theo. Hey, don't mess with him.
That's
You
right.
talk about your pops. You know, but then you turn on the folks who've supported you all these years.
Yeah.
I could tell so many stories, and it's not just I'm just a lowly radio guy. ABC does not want to do games in this town because of how they've been treated in the past by that organization. So it's not just me. It's Al Michaels doesn't want to come here anymore because of the way he was treated by the Spurs people. So I'm just me. I'm just little old Taylor.
Well, the finals aren't coming here anytime soon.
But I am a fan, and I do have tickets. And
you got buddies.
You can't tell me not to boo at a game. You can yell all you want, buddy.
Right.
I'm gonna quadruple down on the yelling because you don't have that much clout.
Yeah. No.
Now you'll be booing.
Well, I don't want to. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I feel
But
like
just
I feel
for-
forsaken.
For principle's sake, you have to almost now.
I guess.
On principle,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, got to do a bit. We'll roll on it.
We'll see what happens on Thursday.
But maybe I'll just maybe Pop doesn't like me booing. Maybe I will cheer.
LG, try not to get
Maybe
smacked,
I will
LG.
cheer like never before for the Hawks.
Ooh.
Will that make Pop happy?
Do you
Like,
think if he
Yay,
saw you-
Patty Mills?
Do you think if Pop saw you this coming Thursday, that he would remember or just the past with you and like, you know?
Oh,
just-
I'm sure not. Although I sat next to him recently in a restaurant and he turned his back. I don't know if it was on purpose.
say it isn't so.
Walked into a restaurant. He was at the bar.
Yeah.
And the only seat
Right.
at the bar was him. I didn't know the man was in there.
Yeah.
You know, so it was Pop at the far right corner, and they had the next seat to his left was empty, but
Yeah.
they had a reserve sign there, probably so no one was sitting next to him. That's okay, I get it. They don't want anybody to bother him.
Yeah.
Got a light, sir?
The only seat available though was the one to the left of that open space. So I sat there and I sit down again. Maybe I'm way over. Maybe he has no clue who I am from anybody. But it was so he's sitting straight on. I sit down. He does this. He looks over. And he goes, picks up his phone, and he messes with his phone. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bother. We don't bother these guys when we see them in public. We don't do that.
No.
That's not who we are.
No, it's not.
We don't bother you.
Oh,
I wasn't gonna bother them, but I was like, oh, geez, it's that idiot on the
Won't leave me
radio.
alone.
Maybe, yeah, but I don't care. That's not all. That's nothing. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's not ever personal, but he kind of made it personal the other night. That's
He
not
struck a nerve,
who
that's for
we
sure.
are.
Struck a nerve, that's for
And,
sure.
It's fine. I love him. I'll root like hell for the Spurs Thursday. I'll only boo if it's appropriate. I would
Okay.
never boo our own guys.
Yeah.
No.
And I can't wait for them to get good again, and I hope he wins another championship before he turns it over to Becky or Steve Kerr or whoever's going to come in here.
We'll expect a full report next Tuesday for the podcast
Sorry.
of your game. But before we take off, we do want to remind everybody we've been collecting money for 3 Cents Podcast and the Mike Taylor Challenge is out there that if somebody makes a minimum $40 donation,
We'll do any topic you want.
anything within
on
reason.
My other podcast or this one, if you guys
If
are
we
cool
have
with
to,
it. Yeah,
I mean,
within
it's for the
reason. Yeah,
Salvation
we
Army.
can't lose our marriages.
That's
we
right.
can't get fired from other jobs.
Get in trouble with Facebook.
Can't go to jail.
That.
Yeah. Short of going to jail.
Can't boo at the Spurs game.
But here's the I don't know if you can see it, but we've even got the QR code here. So
yeah,
if you
know
want
what?
to,
I'm going to post that link too. I have a copy of it.
you can
actually.
see the
Yeah.
QR code and then scan it with your device if possible. And if not, we'll have it on our website and everything, our social media. But very spirited conversation today about the Spurs, and again, we'll see how.
I feel like
everything goes.
asking Mike, how do you really feel, though?
Yeah, no.
Hold yourself accountable the way you want us all else to.
Yeah.
That's it.
There you
Practice
go.
what you preach.
That's fair
There you
enough.
go.
That's fair enough. Well, listen, we've had a great time with you guys. Thank you so much for watching today. We'll be right back here on Thursday with another edition of 3 Cents Podcast. So for now, for Cleto Rodriguez and Mike Taylor and the great LG right here, I'm Ernie Zuniga saying so long. Please be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms, and we'll be back here very soon with another 3 Cents Podcast presented by Integrity Roofing and Siding.
Three Cents Podcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding.